the person, but unconsciously, you also married an expectation. Welcome to Impart Series on Insights with Stella. Today, we are delving into a very important topic, which is the marriage you imagined versus the marriage you entered. Many frustrations in marriages are not caused mainly by lack of love. They are caused by the collision between expectations and reality. Hold on, I will explain this further with an illustration I always use whenever I talk about marriage reality. Think about ordering a parcel online. You see the parcel, you see attraction, you see the advert that is attached to it, you see the promises, the nice packaging, the content. You are impressed with what you have seen, and you go ahead to make commitments by making payments, and a few days later your parcel is delivered to you, beautifully wrapped, well packaged, with all excitement. You sign for it, you receive your package. All this while, what is going on is largely expectations, because no matter how wonderful the advert, no matter how fantastic, how convincing the promo, you are not too sure of what it is until you eventually unwrap your parcel. Now your parcel has been delivered to you. When you unwrap, the reality may exceed your expectation, it may match your expectation. You may just unwrap and then you're like, wait a minute, is this what I actually ordered? Pause there. Let's bring this into marriage. Now you've seen this person, you saw attraction, you saw honesty, you saw kindness, you saw chemistry, you saw smiles, you saw laughter, you saw good packaging, and you're convinced, you're impressed with what you are seeing. You go ahead to make commitment by taking the vows. The marriage begins and the reality starts, which is the unwrapping. It may take some months because marriage reveals slowly. And when you unwrap, you now discover that attraction, that kindness you saw, that gentility you saw, actually that person can go for days without talking to you when they are upset. You unwrap and you discover that this person can explode with anger at the slightest provocation. You've unwrapped and you now discover that this person processes emotions differently. This person sees love differently. Then reality sets in. Is this making sense to you? If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel and share this with somebody you think needs to understand managing reality and expectations. Let's go on. Many people enter into marriage not just with love, but with pictures. Pictures of how they think love should play out. Pictures of how they think romance should be. Pictures of how marriage should be, how happiness should happen. And some of these pictures, they come from maybe parents. Some they come from the church or religious background. Some they are influenced by the social media. And some they are just personal expectations that have been built over time. Now the marriage is not just about who alone, it is about those expectations that are attached to it. Remember, like I said earlier, you did not just marry the person. Most times you are marrying even the expectations you have carried along with you. And some of these expectations could be that as long as there is love, we don't have any problem. Love can solve everything. And it could also be that as long as we have known each other for a long time, compatibility should just come naturally. There wouldn't be conflict, we won't struggle with emotional connectivity. But then reality sets in, and you now know what we mean by welcome to real life. Hold on there. This is where many couples' frustrations start from. You may be imagining what is happening to you. This is exactly what is happening to you. You are not struggling with your actual spouse that you are married to now. You're actually struggling with the difference between the version you imagined and the version that you now have with you. So your disappointment is not that the marriage is bad. Your disappointment is that reality did not fit exactly into your expectation. But can I say something? Reality entering into your marriage does not mean that you married wrongly. I'll say that again, and please listen carefully. Reality setting into your marriage doesn't mean you married wrongly. It only means that you have left packaging, You have unwrapped your parcel, and the real content is what you have before you. Courtship may reveal attraction, but marriage reveals habits. Courtship may reveal efforts, but marriage reveals patterns. Courtship reveals excitement, but when it comes to marriage, the reality, pressure points are exposed. When life starts, the reality of life does not look at what you have done, does not look at how the packaging was during courtship. The realities of life does not look at how beautiful the advert was that enticed you to make commitment. It reveals more than excitement can really hide. I remember my experience, when I was entering marriage, there were things I never expected in my parcel. They were not part of what I ordered, especially my ordeal with childbirth. And we were faced with certain shocking realities, and even when the doctors gave some rules, gave some guidelines that we needed to follow, it wasn't an easy season. Was that part of what we saw? No, it wasn't. But here is life. Here is reality. Here is the real deal facing you. What are you supposed to do? Listen carefully. Don't force imagination into marriage. You must be prepared to face reality. I've said it before in one of my videos. When it comes to marriage, you must be ready to do life, because you don't have the complete script from the beginning. As you journey, as you go on, it begins to unfold. Remember, like we said earlier, that marriage reveals slowly. The unwrapping may take years. As you unwrap from one point to the other, you begin to see certain things. So you must be prepared to face life. When reality becomes different from expectations, you can make one of these two dangerous mistakes. Number one, you can start fighting reality, or you start fighting your spouse. You also need to know that marriage does not work by denying reality. It works by learning to handle reality wisely. Listen to me. A marriage can still be beautiful, even if it is different from your expectation. Not every unmet expectation means that you married wrongly. It could mean that you should learn differently. So what should you do when your expectations are now different from reality? What should you do seeing the marriage you imagined and the marriage you have entered? Number one, please keep the marriage. Acknowledge the difference, honestly. It could be painful, what you expected, but you must acknowledge the reality that is facing you. And what do you do next? Replace assumptions with real conversations. Like I said, be ready to do life. Instead of saying you have changed, you can say, please let me understand this part of you better. Instead of saying, this is not what I expected, or this is not who I expect, be ready to do life. Ask, how do we both imagine that marriage should be, or what are our expectations concerning marriage? Curiosity creates connection, but you know what? Judgment will only create distance. What to do next? You must continue learning your spouse. You must continue learning your spouse. Most people stop the learning after marriage. No, it is a school that has no graduation. Then we take the marriage vow. What do we say? Till death do us part. So it is a continuous process. You must keep learning your spouse. Courtship was asking, what do you like? What excites you? What are your interests? Marriage should continue to ask, what are you becoming? Do you know why? People evolve, people grow. So you must keep asking, where are we going? Healthy marriages continues to learn each other intentionally. You must build expectations together. Intentionally healthy marriages or intentionally healthy couples discuss communication, they discuss finances, parenting, boundaries together, create curiosity. This is what fosters connection. Don't live on silent assumptions. Create updated expectations together. What next? Remember what made you choose each other in the first place. Ask yourself, what was the strength and what is still remaining in this marriage? What was your attraction point? What was your conviction in the first place? What strength did you see? Ask yourself, what strength still lies in this marriage? You know something? Frustration magnifies what is missing so much that you may stop seeing what is still available. So you must pause, reflect, and ask yourself, what good is still left in this marriage? I believe if you can do a very deep, sincere, and honest reflection, you will find that there is something still left. There is something still good. There is still strength left in that marriage, and you can build from there. This week, ask yourself, what expectation did I actually bring into marriage? Where do I need adjustment? And ask yourself, are you trying to understand your spouse, or you are redesigning them? They are two different things. Understanding is help me know you. I want to know you. While redesigning says become who I have imagined. Remember, don't force imagination into marriage. You must be ready to face reality. You must be ready to do life. Your marriage and your relationship becomes healthier when you stop asking, why are you not exactly what I imagined? And start asking, how do I love this real person that I have seen? How do I handle this content that I have signed for, that have been delivered to me? Because successful marriages are not built by people who found the perfect spouses. Don't ever think that is it. Successful marriages are built by people or by couples who kept learning each other over and over again intentionally. On a final note, this week on this episode, marriage is not discovering your dream partner. Marriage is not about your imagination. It's not about the picture you have carried. Marriage is about being ready to do life and learning your real partner, the real person before you. This is Impart Series on Insights with Stella. If this has inspired something in you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share also with someone that you think needs to hear this as well. And stay connected on this space every Sunday 8 p.m. for insightful and impactful episodes. Till I see you again, remain intentional.